Greetings and welcome back to From the Depths and to the Sun Wukong, who stares stoically out across uncertain waters into the coming twilight, pondering hidden things, secret things, the sorts of things that would make my mortal mind quiver and turn to jelly. Thankfully, I didn't give it a mouth, so it can't share those thoughts with me. My mind is safe for the time being. Now, as I promised in the last episode, we are going to start work on flyers in this one. But before we do, I just want to cover what I've managed to get done. We have cleared out the remainder of the Deepwater Guard. They are, sadly, no more. No tombstone, no testament, no hidden ruins to ever speak of their ever being here. And in their anonymity, perhaps there is some mercy there. They weren't very good at what they did. But we have a new outpost, a Heimdall, heading down to the resource zone where we're going to be able to start collecting crystal. I have named this outpost Metallum Tempestus, as requested. Now, for our flyers. There are two types of flyers that I am interested in making in this game. Well, two very broad categories, that is. There are lots of different types of flyers within those categories, but there are two large categories. The first category, and the one I'm not going to be working on in this episode or in the coming episodes, but before we head off to meet the Twin Guard, we will get a fleet of these types. Independent aircraft. Aircraft large enough, well-equipped enough to operate on them by themselves without some sort of staging base or a supporting fleet. Large aircraft, I imagine here, with very powerful engines, which make their own fuel, their own ammo, that sort of thing. We're not going to be going with one of those. Ultimately, I do want them before we go to war with the next faction, but for now, and more relevant to the Sun Wukong and really all of my other outposts, which are equipped to spawn things, we're going to be working on drones. Now, my idea of a drone in this game is a small aircraft that isn't really intended to be independent. Perhaps it could be if we design it particularly well, but it's not going to be designed with that as a design goal. It is going to be a support aircraft. Ideally, some sort of harassment, a harrying force, which will augment the destructive capability of the fortresses or, in fact, fleets that spawn it, because perhaps I'll have fleets that make them. So, with that in mind, let's get to work. We are going to need to start building, and of course I'm going to be up here, aren't I? Yes. Okay, very well. We are going to go all the way down and then across. I've got an automated control block. That is not what I want. I need a block of, hopefully, lightweight metal alloy. We are going to be making these drones out of lightweight metal alloy. The thing with this, I know some people are going to say, but that's going to make it so expensive. If you're going to make just drones, you should make them really cheap. Yes and no. This is a flyer, so its weight is going to be important to me. A wood block has a weight of 0.1 undisclosed units of measure. Lightweight alloy has a weight of 0.05. That's extremely light. So we're going to be going with this. Yes, it's expensive in terms of the resource cost, the metal cost, but we're not really hurting for metal at this point, and we probably never will again. Let's start with a vehicle about here. Oh. Does it have to be wood? I hope it does not. I can only imagine that it doesn't. Right, let's start this out. Right, where's the front? We need to know the front. The front is this way. It is important for us to make the front clearly visible to me, even if we don't make it this long. Oh, no, don't sink. Go up. Stupido, go up. There we go. My lord. There we are. Okay, now, you can go. Don't need you anymore. Right, there we go. We have got the beginnings of our little drone craft. Now, in terms of what we're going to build, I am going to be doing pretty much all of this building on camera. So if the building side of this Let's Play is not your cup of tea, forewarned is forearmed. Probably want to skip this and maybe the next episode. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. Maybe the drone craft won't take that long. Let's hope. Now, we want to make the rear visible to me. So this should make it fairly easy for me to distinguish what is the front and what is the back. Now, the first thing that we're going to want is a little engine, but what I'm thinking is we're only going to need a very little engine. This is going to be a drone, so I'm not going to be piloting it. I don't need to be in this craft. In fact, I don't want to be in this craft, so let's go ahead and shape this now. Is that right? Yes. Yes, that is perfect. Okay, and there as well. Fantastic. We'll start as we mean to go on, I think. There we go. Got a nice little nose there. We'll make the nose a little bit more stubby, though. Like so. In fact... And I'm already thinking in terms of how I can make it look. I'm really sorry about this. I just like this part of the game. Oh, look at that. We're probably going to see this kind of sort of forked tongue kind of iconography going along in all of my builds from now on. Since I did it for the Pinakas, I really liked it. So we're probably going to be sticking with that. In fact, let's make it a little bit better. Let's go with this. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Right, this is going to be the front of the craft. Now, as it is a drone, don't actually need any kind of windows. And that is very, very good for us. The AI is going to be sat over here, I'm thinking. Yes. Let's go ahead and start with that then. AI mainframe, let's start with the brain. So there's the brain. We are going to want 2 front and back card slots, because the cards will go in the front and the back, and that is the back of the craft, that is the front of the craft. As for the AI cards we're going to use, now this is something I've not done before. I've never built a flyer, so if I'm doing something stupid, well, you should have come to expect this from me by this point. We'll have an aim point selection, target prioritization. We'll have AI aerial cards. Okay, what have we got here? Got 2 different cards. Aerial AI. This card can be inserted into a card slot and will program basic aircraft AI into the vehicle. It will engage detected targets. Can be heavily configured for a range of aircraft. Fantastic, that's what we need. What's the other one? Water Start. This card will help an AI plane with aerial AI equipped with balloons take off out of the water. Enables an AI to ease off thrust and release balloons in order to perform a water start. That's actually kind of awesome, but not what we're going to need for this drone. So that is really good to keep in mind, oh my lord. Tracker target association. This card can be inserted into a card slot and will allow clever assignment of targets to trackers. Targets with the given priority go first, and are given only the trackers. You know what? It's been a long time since I've built a tracker. Yeah, okay, we'll give it a tracker then. And we then want a 6-way connector, because we are going to need... Well, actually, we don't even need the connector. We just need a wireless transmitter. There we go. Right, that'll be on channel 1. I'm probably only going to put 1 AI on this. Again, I don't want to make this too expensive of a craft. This vessel is meant to be fairly cheap. Well, you know, with the exception of the fact that it's made of an incredibly expensive alloy. Shut up. I know I'm contradicting myself. I don't care. Right, let's place down the mirror line. Let's start building this out again. This is going to be the wall section for the craft. Okay, not too bad. Now, we can, of course, bring that in as well. Now, as this is a drone, there's no reason at all why I can't make this fairly... I could make this perfectly symmetrical if I wanted to. And there's a little part of me that's wondering if maybe I should. But at the same time, probably not. Let's just put in some jet stabilizers first, though. Because we're definitely going to want these. Let's go 1 there. Maybe 1 here for now. Okay, there we are. Right. Next up, we're going to need an engine. Now, I'm wondering how much of an engine we're going to need. It really all does depend quite heavily on what kind of locomotion we use. Now, my mind, we're going to be going with a helicopter kind of drone. So, helicopter blades to keep it in the air. Now, the thing with those is they don't actually require power because they're on spin blocks, and spin blocks don't require power to be used. I actually consider that a bit cheeky, personally. I don't mind using it on, for example, the Sun Wukong, because the Sun Wukong definitely has an engine. But if you really wanted to, you could make a helicopter style of a vessel without using any power at all. As long as you only used helicopter blades to give it its maneuvering abilities, you could make one that didn't have any energy requirements. And that, of course, would allow you to make an incredibly tight, efficient design, but I don't know, that sounds a little bit cheeky to me. So we're not going to go that route. We're going to choose the higher road, and we're instead going to build a regular engine. So we'll have an engine block here. Crankshaft, I'm not sure how far back we're going to make this. We'll have... if we have a cylinder here, so that gives us 1, 2, 3. Okay, that should do okay. So we'll get the cylinders. They're there, and they're there. We then want the carburetor in here, like so. And of course, there, and there, and there. We are going to definitely want to have cylinders up there as well. How much power are we getting out of this? Only 15. That does not surprise me in the least little bit. So let's continue setting this up. Probably going to be a fairly lackluster engine, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I'll place one there as well. We'll have a supercharger in here. Now how much are we getting? 284. Honestly, considering what I'm thinking that we're going to be using the Power 4, I mean, I'm not sure how much power the aircraft engines require. The jet engines, the small ones, require power use input demand 1. I'm really not sure what that how that will affect it. 1 watt, just literally 1 power. The huge jet engine requires 18, but gives significantly. Well, actually, it is literally just a flat upgrade. 18 times as powerful, but not 18 times as big, which is always good. There are custom engines, and I'm so tempted to play around with those. Alas, we're not going to in this instance. But I am remarkably tempted. We could go ahead and squeeze out a lot more power if we just come up the top as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's fully customize this engine. Make sure we get as much oomph out of it as we can for the space that we're using. There we go. And we'll place you guys there. And over there, there, and there as well. Then we just need to build this up. Like so. That should give us a reasonably powerful engine. 1,000 power. Okay, that's not bad. What's the energy efficiency? Fuel efficiency, rather. Where is that? I can't actually see it. Fuel use per power usage. Oh, it was right in front of me. My lord, I've forgotten to read. Right, we are definitely then going to want, if we've got an engine on board, because I was tossing up the idea of having an electric engine, in which case we wouldn't need a fuel processor, but we are going to, so we're going to build one in. There we go. Now the problem with this is that we have no room yet for ammo. The question is, are we going to be building this with passive ammo generation? Which I'm kind of tempted for. I think probably not, though. If we have some ammo fabricators in here, then that is going to give us a fair bit of room spare, because we're only going to need the room for 1 or 2 ammo containers, and then the ammo fabricators themselves will just fill those up that much faster. And again, we're not really hurting for metal the way we used to be. Now, where's the center of mass? It is about here. Okay, well, let's finish off the shape of the hull first. That way I'm going to be able to... Well, in fact, you know, with all of this extra little room in here, I could easily fill that up with ammo. It would mean that the first thing that manages to breach the armor on this is going to flat out break it. And that is a bit of a shame. But at the same time, not a lot one can do, really. That's the way it's going to be. Alright, let's lock that in position, bring that up. Head down here, grab you. Given how far out that's coming, and how tall it is, rather, let's do this. Unlock. Build that in there. So we're making this a little bit tighter of a design. Yeah, about there. We want this to be a downslope. And then... there we go. I could even have a light. Oh, I kind of like that idea. Fantastic! Unintentional awesome is the best type of awesome. I've said before. There we go. It actually looks like a sub. Man, I'm tempted. But no, I set out to build a drone, and that's what I'm going to build. I refuse to get distracted by subs and their siren call. Alright, we want this over here, and then another one about there. And that should be that for the most part. Right, we need to get the last little bit of blocks just to get the triangle in here. Like so. And we want a 2-meter one right there. And then that's pretty much it, actually. Fantastic. Right, we want a 2-meter downslope. Oh, okay, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I suppose I could just build this up. Didn't really want to, but that'll do. Right, then we'll get the 2-meter downslope, and there we have it. I believe we are now symmetrical on the top and bottom, at least so far as the this design is concerned. Right, we're going to fill this area, I think, with ammo. I think that's probably going to be the best way to use this space. One there. No, can't place one. That's a shame. I really would like to place one. Are you sure I can't convince you to let me place one? Let's lock this position and then try some trickery. No? Ha-ha! Trickery achieved. Can I do any more trickery? Ha-ha! Ha-ha! Ah, I approve. Now with this, it won't go on top, but damn it, I don't care. That's still awesome in my book. Let's lock that in position again. We're just going to have to rotate this around until we can find the correct position. Ah, wonderful. Let's just fill this out with ammo all the way down. Ah, absolutely fantastic. This one in there as well. And you know what? Given this, I'm not going to have any automatic ammo processors then. The actual ammo fabricators. I think this should be good enough for us. And fill that out. Wonderful. Okay, we have got our starting shape for our drone. And I think it looks pretty good so far, if I do say so myself. Okay, these need to be brought up then. We want to know where the center of mass is. It is literally just above it. Fair enough. I'd like to have these centralized. I'm not sure if it makes the blindest bit of difference to the game, but I'd prefer to do it this way. Now, as I mentioned, we're going to be having this as a helicopter. Now, the helicopter is going to need a few things. First, we're going to need to place in control blocks. Automated control blocks, one on either side. Actually, can I be cheeky about this? Can I be really cheeky? Oh, I can be. Fantastic. We're trying to keep space down. Now, I'm going to build out the engine component first. The thruster, that is. Because I would like to try and centralize the rotary blade above the center of mass, and I wonder if the engine, the thruster is going to change that position a bit. So probably going to be wise for me to do that first. And place that there. Let's shave that off. Actually, that looks okay. We're going to need an area for the tail plane. Or tail plate. I think it's tail plate, actually. No, tail plane. I was right the first time. And that will allow us to build out the ability for the vehicle to control its direction, obviously. This looks like a fairly good position just for a huge jet engine. Just one of them. Right, bang smack there. Now the first thing we're going to do is, before I try to build that and this... Oh. How awkward. I'll be right back. Need to find the way out. There we go. Close the door, of course. Prevent drafts. Let's waste not, want not with our heating bill. Alright. I'm coming for you. Little drone. Ah! I missed. Let me up. There we go. Right, now. I would very much like for this to go into the AI. I want to turn the AI off. I do not want this vessel doing anything silly, like trying to fly away when I put this jet engine down. There we go. Also, how expensive is this? It's 19,000 in terms of metal. That's not great, but we've got so much. It's actually fairly cheap for me. So we'll accept that. Okay. Right. What we want for the tail plate, we're going to want to build out the blocks again. And of course, place down the mirror line. Well, actually, do we really need the mirror line? That is, do we need what the support I was about to build? We could perhaps just build it up like this. Let's see. Would this affix? Yes, it will. Fantastic. Oh, I like this. Okay. Now, this is going to create our tail plane out here for controlling the direction we're heading in. The thruster will just give us flat out thrust, as you might imagine. And the helicopter blade will keep us in the air. Okay, I am liking this. I'm liking this a lot. We'll build this out a little bit more, give it a little bit of shape, just because we can. There we are. And give it some corners. Oh, I like it. Oh no, that went too far. Too many corners. Also, let's add this there, and this here, and at the bottom the same. Make sure that was pointing the right direction. There we go. Okay, that should give us plenty of maneuvering ability on this. Right. Let's just have a quick read over this, because I kind of glossed over it there. The tailplanes are controlled by a vehicle's controller in air mode, using UJYI for nose up, nose down, spin left, spin right, assuming the tailplanes are placed at the tail. They are for controlling the pitch and yaw of aircraft. The force is proportional to the airspeed over the tailplane. With that in mind, I wonder if these ones that are in line with the body are actually going to be helpful to me at all. It wouldn't surprise me at all. It's very easy to apply game logic to this game, but you would actually be doing it a disservice. In many ways, it actually does try to model physics quite closely. So in that case, let's build this out just to be on the safe side. Let's do that as well. There we go. All right, that's mirrored on both sides. We'll hope that that will help. I'm going to have to do this on top and bottom, aren't I? Yes, yes I am. That's fine. I don't mind. And down here. And then up there as well. Okay, so that should give us plenty of maneuverability. We've got one big old engine to get us moving in the right direction. And we are going to need a control, I imagine. Even though there's no one going to be on here controlling it, I believe we are going to need one. So let's go ahead and do that. Control. Vehicle control. Yeah, we'll just go with the vehicle controller. We'll flip it upside down because we're cheeky. No? Can I not? Can I? Ah. Apparently my cheekiness has been denied. How rude. If I take that away, will it get rid of the other one? No. Good. Get rid of that one. There we go. Okay, the AI now has a controller. It will be much happier about this, I imagine. Alright, now, I actually need to find where the center of mass is. Right, well, near enough there. It's not quite exactly there, but it'll do. And we will place down a block to mark this location. There we go. And we will then build up towards it on all sides. Well, at least on the front and the back. On this side, it'll be slightly less pronounced. And then we want some triangles, 2 meter ones, there and there. And on this side as well. Fantastic. Okay. Now, I need to not be stood there. Why am I all the way there? My camera, it was doing very strange things. Let's just stand over here. In fact, let's stand down here in the tail plane. Maybe? Haha. Okay. This should be safe from what I'm about to build. I don't think helicopter blades will actually hurt you, but they would easily knock me off into the water, and that just annoys me. Right. We want a new object, a spin block. We don't want a precision one because it moves too slowly. Useful for... Oh, actually, maybe we do want a precision one. Useful for mass helicopter planes. This one does not apply physical force to the main vehicle. Control them with the spin block controller found on the control tab. Spin turn block. Okay, let me just have a read over this. Useful independently from the main vehicle or structure. Useful for masts. The fact that one... This one's torqueless. We'll just go with the precision one, I think. And we'll hope. We will hope dearly that this works. There we go. Now, we want a very simple helicopter blade setup. So we want the helicopter blades here. Helicopter blades are stabilized to provide a purely vertical up force when placed in the vertical orientation, and to provide a blade upwards force when placed facing forwards, backwards, left, or right. Okay. We can have upside down, blade unstabilized. Helicopter blade unstabilized such that the up force is in the upwards direction of the blade. Upside down. Now this is the part where I'm easily going to make a mistake. So I do ask for your forgiveness if this makes your eyes and your brain bleed. Helicopter blades stabilized provide purely vertical up force when placed in vertical orientation. Now we'll go with this one. Force per angular velocity. Looks all the same for the most part. We'll go with this one then. Right. You have to connect them by the sides, it looks like. I guess that makes sense. Okay. We'll lock that in position, and we want a mirror line. Now, the thing with this is you need the blade to be large enough for what you're building. I have no idea how large enough is going to be, so we're just going to build it out this far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll make it 8. Because I like even numbers. There we go. Now that should be... Oh, dear me. Okay. That's not good. Now, the problem that we're seeing right now is that the blades are both facing the same way, and I believe they have to be facing different ways. So we're just going to delete that, lock this position, and go 8 out again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and in fact, 8. And then do the same here. And finally on this side. Obviously, you want the blades to basically be facing the same direction. Otherwise, that is, this as it's rotating, it should be facing the same direction. All blades should be facing clockwise or anti-clockwise. What we had initially were both blades were technically facing exactly the same direction. That is, left of the front of the craft, but that meant that the lower blades were facing clockwise and the upper blades were facing anti-clockwise. Now at least all of them are facing the same direction, and that is very, very good. Now this is the part where we're either going to have been awesome and succeeded or not. We need to tell this to try and keep this vehicle at a certain altitude. So in the control block, we want this to activate when altitude is less than And we wanted to control the spin blocks. There's only one, so it can have no limit on the range. Set rotation speed to a variable. If the altitude is less than... How high do we want this to be? Let's say 75, or well, close enough to 75. So if this is below 72, then... Am I going down? Whoa, 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 whoa. Am I spinning the whole ship? Is the only thing that isn't spinning... What is going on here? Craziness is what's going on. I am a little bit concerned. Okay, oh no, it is actually locking onto the spin block, it seems. Is one going to take us out? Oh, that one's pushing us down, I think. Or maybe not. I can't tell what's going on. Okay, exit. Wow, really? Oh, it's because I'm still controlling the spin block. Take me back to the hull, you fool. My lord. I was wondering what kind of craziness I'd gotten up to there. But clearly, that's still not working. Let's scroll back out and adjust this to the other side. Will this take us up? Aha! We're climbing! It's working, everyone! Kind of. Maybe. Okay, put this back to something low. Maybe that one. Test. Stop. Let me plummet back to the Earth, where it is safe. Well, that said, no, okay, go ahead. Just do your thing. Now, the jet stabilizers are basically keeping me set at the moment. Now, what I need to do is I need to tell this, I want to basically hover at about 75. So this one activates when altitude greater than, and spin blocks, set rotation speed. If my altitude is greater than 79, I want it to slow down, maybe? I don't know. Let's not tell it to literally go negative. Let's instead tell it to slow the blades down so that I descend less aggressively. Let's try and set it to that. Okay. Now, what is my altitude? 75. Oh, it's should start climbing now. There we are, climbing up. Oh, we've just gone over 79, so it's coming back down. Okay. Okay, I think we've actually managed to get this working somewhat right. Let's reduce that speed just a little bit more, so it falls just a little bit faster. In fact, if I set... No, I'm going to keep it at 79. That seems to be the better option there. So let's see how this does. We're up to 82, and it's pulling back down below 70. So it's hovering between about 68 and 82. That's not quite as tight as I would have wanted it, but there's not much I can do about that. I would like it to climb just a little bit faster, I'm not sure. But right now, at least, we've got something which can kind of stay in the air. Sort of. It's very, very wibbly-wobbly, but at least it's doing more or less what I want it to do. Perhaps I should have it a little bit higher, though. Maybe 100. Let's try that. If altitude is below 99, there we go. Try to climb. If altitude is above 106, try to descend. So there we go. We should be able to get all the way up there and then just hover around this area. So as low as 94, as high as 109. That is not actually too bad at all, in my opinion. That's only a deviation of 15 meters. Sorry, a range of 15 meters. That's actually pretty good, if you ask me. I think if we want to start coming down, though, a little bit faster than we are, I do actually need to stop this from climbing almost altogether and actually give it a positive downward force, but just not much of one, I think. Let's see how that affects it. So we're climbing again, and we're slowing down. It hasn't actually made that much of a difference, one way or another. Okay, well, I could adjust the helicopter blades to make them a little bit larger. The longer the blades, the more lift you're going to create when they're spinning. But honestly, I think this is more or less keeping it where it needs to be. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. The next thing then We've got plenty of power, plenty of fuel. We've got a huge amount of ammo in here. The next thing, I suppose, would either to be start adjusting the AI, tell it how to attack, and that sort of thing, or to build a weapon. Now, you may have noticed I've left this spot conspicuously clear, and we have got ammo on here, so obviously there's going to be a weapon system that uses ammo. I am thinking to go back to the good old days of guns, and we're just going to have a fairly low gauge, but explosive, high enough explosive warheads that it will always shoot explosive warheads. Reasonable fire rate cannon, maybe a triple-barreled cannon. Just kind of set up underneath here, or just one barrel really, would, or two is all we're really going to need. We don't need it to be overwhelming because we're just going to have a lot of these. Hopefully like 3 or 4, just kind of servicing our outposts as guards. But what I really do need to check is whether this can fly properly. So without me being on there and in the controls, perhaps I should have thought about that. I can't test whether this is going to work. I can only assume that it will. But we have taken quite a lot of time already just working on this little drone. I think it's probably time that I wrap this episode up. We've still got a fair bit of work to do on our little drone, and I don't even know what we're going to name it yet. But hopefully, the work that we're going to do, I think this area out here just is begging for something. Maybe a wing of some sort. I'm not sure. With our helicopter blades, I'm not sure if we really need wings, but perhaps I could add them in so that it can fly a little bit better when it's actually trying to engage something. And then the helicopter blades can just basically keep it hovering when it's not actively fighting something. I think that might be an interesting idea. This is a drone at the end of the day, so it doesn't need to be any particular shape. It doesn't need to resemble an aircraft. In fact, it's good that it doesn't. It just resembles some sort of automated... Well, right now, it looks more like a cannon shell with a helicopter blade on top. But still, I like it. And in the next episode, we're going to continue building it. So I hope this episode has been fun to watch and perhaps even informative to a certain degree. But in the next, we are hopefully either going to finish this or at least get pretty close to finishing it. I imagine we're going to be working on the weapon systems. But that is all for the next episode. So until then, and as always, from myself, the Sun Wukong, all of the other ships, and this as yet unnamed vehicle, do take care.